Now let me welcome on to the latest edition of Courting Cinderella, South Dakota State head coach Eric Henderson. We are going to be breaking down Oral Roberts, the team that is currently on the longest winning streak in college basketball. Eric, one, appreciate you being here. Two, Max Abmas, it's a name that we all know. We saw him make the Sweet 16 a couple of years ago. What is it about him 2 years on from where people kind of saw him nationally? How has his game changed?
Oh, midcourt Max, he's pretty nasty, Rob. He's just an electric, point guard. He has the ball in his hands so much, and what makes it difficult is just his ability. And Coach Mills gives him the freedom to shoot whenever and wherever, and he can shoot it at an efficient rate. So that's what makes him special. And you get so spread out, it makes it challenging. But the other thing that Max can, he just doesn't turn it over. They lead the country in not turning the ball over. And this time of the year, man, you just don't want to beat yourself. And when you have a guard that's been through it and experienced, that's pretty special. And Max is certainly that.
All right. So Connor Vanover, the transfer from Arkansas, 7'3" guy in the middle. Isaac McBride, he transferred in from, I believe it was Vanderbilt. It's not just Max Abmas, right? There's other talent on this roster. Yeah. Who else do people need to know about? Who's maybe the kind of the X factor, a key player that doesn't get the headlines?
Kareem Thompson and Carlos Juergens, you think about those guys, they're fifth-year guys that have been with, Coach Mills the whole time. And they were part of that Sweet 16 run too. And so just their experience is huge for them. They understand their roles. They're a very, very connected basketball team. You can tell they really enjoy playing with each other. So those two guys come to my mind. But like you said, I mean, the difference between their team, a couple of years ago and this year is the Vanover kid from Arkansas. He's 7'5". They don't foul. I think they're sixth in the country. I know they're top 10 in the country. Of just not fouling people, so they limit their points around the basket with the dude that's 7'6", and they can pressure a little bit more on the arc, knowing that they have that size there. So those two older guys and then Vanover are really, really special players as well.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in. So we saw them make that run in 2021. This year, when they're playing maybe bigger opponents, higher conference opponents, lost to St. Mary's by 8, lost to Houston by a lot, but a lot of people lose to Houston, and they lost at Utah State by 10. What kind of team can they match up well with when you get to maybe some of these higher ranked teams? Is it like a danger if they play someone a lot more athletic than them? If someone that has a bunch of guards that could spread them out the same way? Like who do you think they kind of match up well with? What kind of a team?
Well, I think a team that, doesn't pressure is probably what would fit them the best. A bigger team with size, I think, that they can get them spread out a little bit more would be a tough matchup for that other team, because they have the ability to pile in a bunch of shots, and you have to guard multiple guys out there too. And they just have the freedom to shoot it. And Coach Mills does a terrific job. And, they're two guys that they play at the 5, Connor Vanover and Patrick Mwamba, they've both made over 5 threes in a game. And so to have bigs that have to get out there and guard that, it can be challenging. So I think that would be Oral Roberts' best matchup. A team that can switch a bunch of screens and have athleticism 1 through 5, that can guard the perimeter maybe a little bit better, in that 3-point shot would be maybe a little tougher matchup for Oral Roberts. But I'd be not scared of them, but I know that they can certainly, play with anybody in the country on any given night.
Yeah, they're going to end up being that, like most likely that 12 seed that everybody is afraid of. There's always those 12-5 upsets people talk about all the time when the bracket comes out. When they made the run in 2021, they were a 15 seed and they finished 4th in the Summit League. This year, they won the Summit League, obviously, and now they are going to be a little bit higher ranked. Can they make another run? I'm putting you on the spot. Is this going to be the year?
Well, I believe so, Rob, just because, at the end of the day, what do you want to have? You want to have older, experienced guards, right? And they're 2 guards, Max and Isaac McBride, the transfer, he started at Kansas and then, transferred to Vanderbilt and now's at Oral Roberts. I mean, they're as athletic as anybody in the country, and they're older, they're experienced. And then they have those 2 wings that are both 50-year guys, and then the big fella inside and 2 guys off the bench that can, really help them as well. So they're experienced, they're big, and they can really shoot the basketball. So I know if I was, somebody on the other side, I'd be certainly anxious if I saw their name and come across the bracket.
Yeah, you're gonna have to score a lot of points to beat them. All right, last thing I got for you. What's the weakness? Max Asmus, I think he's listed at 6 foot. I don't know if I fully buy that he's 6 foot. That might be one of those 6 foot with shoes on kind of a deals. Is it defense? Is it maybe just the size in the backcourt? Where do you see them being able to be exploited? Maybe.
The only really, I shouldn't say only weakness, but the thing that, the physicalness sometimes can give them challenges. And if you have the ability to, switch a lot of screens and keep them in front of you, and just making them score over the top of you, but understanding you have to guard the arc. I think those are things when we were playing them, not that it's always successful, but that's what we tried to do. But they can really get you spread out. So that's what I'd say, is maybe their weakness is just their physicality. And then at times just ability to keep other teams' ability to keep them in front of them if they have the opportunity to switch.
Well, listen, Coach, it's been great. I appreciate you coming on here and breaking down Oral Roberts with me. This has been Courting Cinderella, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.